Well, hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Sunday Night Coffee Talk. So I see that we have Carrie here and Lisa. Oh, Carrie, there's a lot of chats. I see lots of comments and jokes. That's very nice. Well, welcome, welcome. So, and a pizza fact. Pizza was first documented uh, by name in 997 CE Common Era. Pizza was Pizza we know today emerged from 18th century Naples. That's correct. But what we're doing today has zero resemblance to real pizza. Hey, hello, our awesome moderator Attila. So I don't have we're gonna have to just make sure we commit to some good chat tonight. Hey, Brenda, and hey, Coda Bear, nice to see you. Because everything we're doing tonight's super easy and quick, but then it has to bake. I've got my oven preheated to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and gosh, I'm gonna make a pizza casserole, something that most of us are probably familiar with. Hey, Sharon and 22Q Cat, Hungry Heath, and the Warden. Hey! So, but also, like instead of a tea or a homebrewed coffee, we're cheating. Hey, Gigi's here. Nice to see you. And Brenda. I've already said, oh, yes, it's both Brendas. That's why I was like, wait a minute, I said Brenda already, but I forget. So lots of hellos back and forth. But I have a subscription to CAWFEE, and we've talked about it a couple times on the channel. But I forgot, you guys. I ordered one of their special edition flavors, and it's one, it could go either way. It's called Ice Vanilla Cream Drizzle. So I'm hoping that it has like an ice cream blend taste to it, because that's why I got it. And cold or hot, it says. And I've had these iced, they're really good. But tonight, because I feel like it, I'm going to have it warm. I think that's the good way to test it out. But also for my cold drink, I have my Gamer Sups. So that's my nootropic for today. And it's the snake oil flavor. Snake oil sounds funny, but let me tell you, it tastes like drinking apple pie a la mode. Hey, Gigi's here. Let's see. Oh, the Warden just saw an ad. I met my Brenda quota. Let's see. Oh, for CAWFEE, yeah. It's actually really tasty. I was really hesitant to try the CAWFEE because I did not like the jot. Like I actually wound up in, I'm even when stuff is so, often I'll finish it anyways because money, and jot was like super expensive. It's not like they sent it to me for free. But I had a lot of people tell me, like, give it a chance, try it out, and I did, and I love it. And sometimes I don't want to grind beans and run it through my V60 or make a fresh pot of coffee when I know we can't drink it all. So it's really just very convenient. So let's start with that. Although I should actually put the casserole together, right? Oh, I'm having that moment. Too many things to do that are awesome. I tell you what, let's measure it. Because we can make instant coffee real quick while our casserole's baking, right? So, all right, let me set this here. Now, duly noted, once you've got it open, you have to put it in the fridge to store. Hey, Dennis, good to see you tonight. So, let's see, pizza last week, casserole tonight. Did I have pizza last week? I don't think I had. No, last week we what did we make? We made tikka masala. Last week was tikka masala. This week is pizza casserole. I had to really think about it, though. Let's see. Oh, and so the Warden says she might try the CAWFEE eventually. Yeah, it's, it's a nice to have. It's not something that we got to have, but yeah. And then the Warden says her stew should be about ready. Oh, ooh, what kind of stew? Was it beef, lamb, pork? I'm curious. Hey, Miriam, nice to see you. So let's see. Hungry Heath says a quick would be the Instant Pot, huh? Well, but not for instant coffee. The Instant Pot, we're not doing that for casserole because basically before you make a pizza casserole, It's actually, you cook all of the stuff, and I did that ahead of time, or we would be cooking meat forever. So I have a spicy sausage, and then I have ground beef that I added some minced onion to and some Italian seasoning. I have my sauce. You can use whatever sauce you like. Buy it from a jar, make it from scratch, whatever you want. Really, whatever you like in a pizza, dump in here, and it's good to go. I'm going to have leftovers as well, so we can mix it up in a bowl or whatever we need to do. And then I have my shredded mozzarella. I have my grated Parmesan. And then I have my pepperoni. For me, it's not pizza if I don't put the pepperoni in it. Originally, I was going to put mushrooms, but this afternoon, I was like, I hit like a down spot in the afternoon. I was just like, you know what? They're frozen. I just don't have it in me to cook off mushrooms. So we're not having mushrooms. Just as well. We're like a meaty dish. Let's have a drink of our nootropics to help pick ourselves up. It's my favorite flavor. I love the snake oil flavor. Let's see. Carrie says we can get the cats out to make the sauce from scratch. Oh my. Yeah, I don't know where those boogers are, but I'm hoping that I don't have to fight no cats off. They're my old one's fine. He knows better, but Ichika's still learning. I'm actually surprised she's not laying because you can see that we've got the sun coming in. It's been dreary and gloomy and snowing all day long. It's freezing cold out. And so now that it's live stream time and we're going to wind down for bed, the sun came out and just like glared into the house. You know, I'm not sad about that. I love the sunshine, but yeah. So let's start by putting a couple spoons of sauce in here and just give it like a smear around. It does not have to be perfect or like some kind of full coating. I just like it. It makes it nice on the base from a flavor profile. This is not like a dish where you have to worry about it sticking because your meat will prevent your cheese from sticking. But I don't know. It was always like a rule of like making layered dishes that you always put a little sauce at the bottom. So now I'm conditioned to do that. But like I said, I just put a very little thin layer. Ground beef next. I don't know why I have the extra spoons. Maybe, I don't know. But, and the other thing that I let you know about like pizza casserole, if you haven't made them before, like this is like a keto indulgent, you know, this is the thing that people sometimes when they're like digging on keto, they're like, well, that's how come, that's how they eat all the time. But we don't eat like this all the time. It's something for this week. It's nice. It's different. It's a change. It helps it be sustainable. And it doesn't come out like, you know, when I make my meat sanya and the layers are really hearty, so it comes out and it's in a nice lasagna block. This isn't like that. It makes you a pizza glop in a bowl, but that's okay. It's delicious. Hey, Lynette, nice to see you. So then I have our sausage. I love sausage in this because it kind of just like brightens up and kind of helps contribute the seasoning to that pizza sort of taste and gives it a nice little base. So just going to give it a little layering here. And well, I have my ingredients in the way. Maybe I should clear them just a little bit and just go back and forth, but we'll figure it out. So pepperonis. The pepperonis, you want to leave a little bit of space so when you're scooping it, you don't get like stuck. But this is another little layer in there. And actually your top layer is going to be pepperonis on top of the cheese. We love pepperoni. So let's see. And that's what we're going to do now is just kind of build. Next thing we'll put cheese. So, and if you haven't had a pizza casserole before or a pizza bowl from one of your local restaurants or the chains, it's just something that kind of hits that craving. Let's see. Oh, and Sharon says, yep, early tonight. Yeah, I just been getting too hungry at 6:30, and I just thought I'd try it out. So, if you guys hate it, let me know. But if you're all good with 6, I like 6 o'clock, and it really does save me quite a lot. Like now, I'm just getting ready for dinner. I need to wipe my pepperoni fingers, and then we'll wash them at the end. So we can come in with our mozzarella. So, and make sure that you have a nice dry mozzarella. You don't want the fresh in the tube that has the water. You want to get the block, like at our BJ's. It's a Land O'Lakes brand. And listen, I know, but use the pre-shredded. Honestly, we get very, very worried about ingredients, and yes, there's better, but also sometimes our life is not always about better, and it's about what we can manage and sustain. And so there we are. For this would be easily good to go if you wanted. And we're going to actually do one more layer. This is my regular dish, not the deep one, or we could do like a couple more layers, but then it does actually become just a smidge too much. Like this is a lot. I think that you guys know that, right? And give me a second here, and I will read back some comments and make sure that that I answer any questions. But like I said, I'm all about easy peasy. It's what we got, what you got, how you do it, improve your quality of life. It's something that I just thought it was good to address, because I see a lot of people are like, I'm trying to go keto. I just can't do it. It's too much. And admittedly, they do see people like me who do lots of really nice, elaborate meals. And sometimes it seems overwhelming. So I try to do a lot of simpler things so we can see, that it is sustainable living, that you can do all of the stuff just like normal, that you don't have to make it all complicated. It's not complicated because I'm keto. It's complicated because I like being a foodie in the kitchen. So, layers. And I don't want to get cheese in my sauce because I don't plan to use it all. So let me just get another spoon. This is not like full coverage, not a thick sauce layer, because it's a pizza casserole. Again, like, with lasagna, you add a little more. But in a pizza casserole, you're trying to get the sauce flavor, but you're not trying to make it sloppy. Might need another spoon, but yeah, a little bit here on the edge and a little bit over here. So, I just thought that's why I try to share like my one pot recipes, and maybe this is a lot because you got to cook, but honestly, you could cook your ground beef and sausage together if you want. You could mix your sauce with your meat if you want. All kinds of stuff. Where's my spoon? All right, let's see where we're at up here. Let's see. Goodness. Hey, Air Fry Nanny. Oh, yeah, that's why Sharon was saying I went early. Yeah, and I was saying it earlier that I moved it back to 6, which is 3 your time. Okay, let's see. Oh, and there was a cat spotting. I missed the cat. What are we doing? Let's see. Let's see. Carrie says he wonders how he would shoot the moon with a Javi drink. Yeah. Oh no, the Javi is way too caffeinated for you, Carrie. You will keel over. Let's see. Greetings. Let's see. Hungry, he said that was about the Instapot. We read that one. Beef stew using the leftover 397 pound pot roast. Let's see. Hungry, he says he typed the part. Let's see. Now I get it. I think I got lost here. Oh yeah, Brenda says she agrees. Pepperoni on the pizza. 22QCat says, look at all the cheese. I know a lot of people really hate on cheese, but I love it, and it doesn't impact us in a negative way, or we would get rid of it. But if I don't have issues with it, I'm eating it. Let's see. Might miss a few messages here. Let's see. Barely Begun says is talking to Carrie. He says he imagines his heart would shoot out to the moon and leave the rest of him behind. Yeah, because it is highly caffeinated. Let's see. Carrie says he triple dogs dare me to add more cheese. I'm going to. We're going to do another layer of cheese, if not two. And then Carrie says he can just watch me drink the coffee for now. Yep. And by the way, next week I will have something that doesn't have caffeine. So, you know, I try to spread it out. And then Air Frying Annie says she just noticed, so no worries. She has her Bluetooth on and because her mom's watching Hallmark. Ah. All right. So, okay, so we've got another layer. Let's go ahead and come back in with our ground beef. I mean, you can see this is the regular size casserole dish, so it's pretty, it's a decent amount. And I will, full transparency, whatever I have left over of the meats, I'm just going to mix together. And I'll probably have them with like, have the leftovers. It's not like there's a lot of leftovers. It's just a little bit. In the morning, scrambled up with into some omelet, you know, some breakfast eggs, as I think that would be really delightful. And that's going to do it for the ground beef for this recipe. So we can make some space and just throw this to the side because we will store it away. That in the sink. Sausage. Hey, sensing the pattern here, right? So what's everyone been up to this weekend? I know people are in a lot of different regions here, so I'd love to hear what's it been. I know it sounds very cliche to talk about the weather, but the weather's been really, really crazy here. Today was supposed to be predicted nice enough that we were going to be able to go out for a bike ride. But we woke up this morning to surprise snow. The temperature had dropped, and it stayed cold and snowy all day. Like there was no relief, zero. So, you know, it is, you know, however it happened, but like it was a surprise because even if they did it when I went to bed last night, granted it was really early, snow was not in the forecast. So I was not thrilled. All right, so now we have the sausage done, and I've given myself a nice solid meat layer here. Yeah, one more little bit. There's a little divot there. We want to make it level. I know it doesn't matter if it's level, but I feel like it matters just for the sake of, I don't know, more meat. Now we're going to do things a little different in order because the last layer, catch those little bits, I put a layer of pepperoni, but this time now we're coming back in with the sauce. Oh, Brenda says it started raining, but is very nice now in Louisville. It's absolutely cold right now, but like I said, the sun came out and it's looking so bright right now, which is really weird for this time of the year. So very, very strange. And I'm hoping that the predictions are correct and that tomorrow it really is going to warm up because I would like to go out for, you know, just at least a little tool. I'm trying to learn how to ride my new bike properly. And I have a big learning curve with the e-bike. So I would really very much love to have that so we can go out for little 5 or 6 mile stints while I learn how to use the gearing properly and the assist. Some of that is my fault because it's in my head that, you know, there's some kind of a failure if I use too much assist. But that's not true. There's a whole reason. And whereas my regular bike is, you know, like maybe 20 pounds. Actually, it's more like 17 to 18 pounds. Instead, it's This one is 80 pounds. So like it needs assist. You know, that's a big bike to go without. And of course, you can turn the electric part off and go once you've got some momentum, but you need that gearing to get your momentum going. And I've just got to adjust. You know, very used to a different style. All right, so now I've got my nice smooth layer of sauce. And you can see it's coming out super nice. Let's see. Oh, Carrie says he made it through the winter without the heat and just blankets. So now he's going to try to make it through the summer without running the AC. Honestly, Carrie, I think that's actually the biggest danger is the summer. The summer gets stupid hot. It is intense. And I think that you may find that there are going to be times when you're going to want some of that AC just for to survive. You don't want to overheat. And, you know, that would be, you know, yeah. We'll just not talk about the worst case scenario. But here we are. Cheese. Look at this. And, of course, I've almost filled this casserole dish. This time we want to do a nice layer. Let's see. Oh, Air Fry Nanny says where she's at, the weather is nice. She's in a t-shirt and shorts, but she's only gone to her place, to the car, etc. That's okay. Like I said, we were back in our winter coats today. We did have to run a couple. Well, we didn't have to, but we did run errands. I was trying to go to Joann's because a lot of times they carry EVA foam for cosplay, and we need some to start building some stuff for one of the conventions coming up. But they didn't. They only had some very thin EVA foam, so I'm going to have to order it from online, which I kind of meant to do when I got home, and I didn't do it, so I'll have to do it after the live stream while I eat my dinner, I suppose. Brenda's asking if I made the sauce from scratch. Half and half. I had some leftover Rouse, but I also had some leftover homemade. So I've, you know, it's a mixture of sauces. So any sauce works, whatever you like. Would have been nice if I had made it all from scratch, but I had some from scratch, some from a jar. It's all good. It's nice. It's coming out very nice. It's pretty solid. I gotta say that. Sprinkle on our Parmesan. And now I'm just using my fingers like a crazy person, but I'm going to use basically all of this Parmesan, so I'm not worried about it. We love Parmesan. Leave Parmesan off if the texture is too weird for you because it is kind of crunchy. So it adds a little bit of crispiness to it versus all of the, that's weighty. I made a dense casserole here. Yeah, so anyways, Hungry Heath says semi-homemade FTW. You know what that means. For the win. But now we're going to layer up our pepperonis, and then we can bake it off. It's going to go in the oven, 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm going to leave it in there for like 30 minutes. Then we'll give it a check and see if I like where it's at, if I want it to go a little bit longer. It's pretty flexible. You want it to heat all the way through, but it doesn't have to do anything special other than heat all the way through. It's up to you if you like it to get a little bit crispier or more solid on top. Because, oh, look at this one. It's a half a pepperoni. It's no good for the casserole if it's only half, right? We'll just get rid of it. So anyways, all right, let me wash the grease off my hands. So, all right, let me see. She's looking good. And sorry, I had to pay attention while I was scrubbing, and I lost my train of thought. So I got all my pepperonis on here. Use some fresh paper towel. It's stuck. My paper towel stuck in there. There we go. Let's see. Doing okay. More hellos back and forth. Hungry He says his favorite thing to do with pizza sauce is to add in some Evil Ooze hot sauce. Nice. Brenda's asking if it will freeze. It will definitely. You can freeze this. It'll be just fine when you warm it back up. Brenda's asking if this is the big casserole dish that I got for myself, and the answer to that is nope. This is the regular size. So this is your standard 9x13. It's such a hearty big dish that I didn't want to make it that deep dish. That would be too much. We could have done it with the stuff that we have, but this is going to be leftovers. Okay, so let me throw this in the oven, and then I'll give you some more things. I'll tell you a little bit more. Good to go. All righty. So the other thing, though, when I say that, it's not necessarily always possible to get completely crispy, but you can get brown and bubbly. But let's face it, sausage, sauce, and pepperoni does get some grease pools. So there is that to deal with. So, yeah. But at 400 degrees, those pepperonis are going to get crispy. Hopefully, they're the curly kind. Sometimes this does, and sometimes not. Let's see. Hungry He says that one pepperoni is crooked, not in line with the others. Well, oh well. And Lynette says, it looks like that would be the perfect dish to take to a potluck. Everyone would love it. No leftovers on that. I agree. I think it is nice. And actually, if I take it to a potluck, a couple little stray cheeses, if I take it to a potluck, then I make it in round like a pie dish so that people... So I know that this is a weird thing, but this is a human factor psychology thing. If you put it in a square dish like that, people don't want to take their spoon and scoop. And then they get like weird about making a mess of the casserole, like as if it matters, because once you cut, it's going to be a mess anyways. But if you put it in a pie dish, plus, then you can make multiples and swap them out, keep one warm, keep another in your insulated bag in case it runs out and it's early and you want to put another one, etc., etc. But round dishes, and especially deep dish pie dish, when it's something like this, people think nothing of digging in there and throwing it, especially if you put something on the side with it where they feel like it can be dipped or scooped on top, etc. So, isn't that weird? I love human factor stuff. All right, let's try this. So let me see. And by the way, the only reason I'm doing it in the oven instead of my air fryer, which has the convection bake, is because I wanted the 9x13 and it has the two side handles on it, so it doesn't fit in there. If I had a 9x13 that didn't have the lip, I would slip it right in there. All right, let's find out if the CAWFEE iced vanilla cream drizzle was worth all their special release hype. It's hot. I have to blow on it. Oh. Sharon says she loves Evil Ooze. Me too. Then Carrie says when he was going into Navy boot camp, it was Great Lakes, and he was in Chicago, tried a deep dish and the bomb back when he was 19. Now he has a pizza. Yes. And I'm going to circle back to that because I have some commentary to add to that. The warden says that was neat that she is also interested in human factors. It's really interesting. I have some more to talk about that too. I love it. The warden says she thinks she needs a cup of coffee. It's just very comforting. Air fryer Annie might need a skillet pizza for dinner. I vote yes. Oh, let's see. Hellos and hugs back and forth. Tutu Q Cat says she'd probably mess up on the human factor research. She has no problem digging right into a pizza casserole. Well, I don't either, but a lot of people do when it's at a public event. At home, people tend to not give a crap. Look, there's a little piece of meat here. I could see it on the camera. There's something, I don't know, maybe it's a shadow because there's nothing on my counter, but I'm rubbing right on it. Interesting. There's a camera shadow. That's making me crazy because it feels like the counter's dirty, but it's on the screen, but not on my actual counter. That's so weird. Okay. Yeah, so at home, people are different than they are in public spaces where they're trying to apply socialized skills, socialized conditioning. And I am that person who's like, let's cut the cake the wrong way. But let's see. And Carrie says, let him get the shovel. He would dig right into the pizza casserole at a party or home. Yeah. Some of us, we're all a little bit different here. You know what? I just realized it's not something on my counter. It's something on my computer screen. Okay. That makes more sense. And now you guys see me be all weird trying to clean my nut and you're wondering what I'm doing. There's something on my computer screen that looked like a stain on my counter. Well, such is life. These things happen. So I wanted to go back and talk about like the human factor stuff. Did you know that that is why like the door handles are, if you are on certain sides, so you'll notice that our doorknobs are always on this side, not 100%, but most of the time. And that tells you to turn to push or pull. That's human factors. There was actually research done telling retail stores and door manufacturers where people instinctively reach to open and close doors. How bizarre is that? I find that utterly fascinating that our brains work that way. Barely Begun says, sure, there is. No, really? Yeah. But now I can see it. It's just like a little drop of water or something. That is making me nuts. Carrie says the computer stained my counter. It's just a little sprinkle. Probably something that I splashed while I was throwing stuff around. Who knows? That's all right. That's what computer wipes are for. Get it right after the live stream. Okay. It lives up to the hype. It's really good. I don't know that it tastes like iced vanilla cream, but it's like a nice soft vanilla, and I dig it. So I'm gonna look forward to drinking this periodically. So yeah, I vote yes. Unfortunately, it was a one-time thing, and now they're all gone. So if you love it, you can't get any more. I don't know why companies do that. I vote that they probably, since they have a caramel brulee, and then another caramel something, they should probably drop one of those and put this back. But who am I? You know, just one person. Let's see. And Marion says the doorknobs are backwards for lefties. That's true. So they do make a lot of left-handed stuff, but not nearly enough. There should be some more universal things. Oh, wow, from India. Are you up like in the middle of, are you getting ready for work? Because gosh, it's really late there, or really early, depending on which way you look at it, I suppose. Goodness. Well, I'm glad to see you here. I work with a lot of people in India, so we have all our meetings. My mornings are always like crammed in this little pile of meetings so that we try to not make everybody either people who are here in the United States or Canada don't have to get up too early, but also we're not keeping our India counterparts up until like, 2 in the morning. So, but I have to say, I really hope that we can visit because we work so closely together. Let's see. And Barely Begun says the doorknobs were invented before lefties existed. Oh, that's terrible. That's not true. And Brenda says she's a lefty too. But oh shoot, I lost track. Anyways, I got my casserole in the oven, and that's why I'm distracted because I'm thinking about eating dinner. And it's 6:30, which is why I was saying that we had to back it up to 6. By now we would just barely be started. And by the time it came out of the oven, I would be like ravenous and eat through it within like seconds. And then I would want more, even though I shouldn't have more. So this is going to be much better. Oh, Carrie, congratulations. Another person looking at the house. That makes 3 so far. That's good because it'll take quite a few people visiting it before people start doing offers or trying to buy it. Uh, yeah, so good luck. I'm pulling for you there. I know that you are looking forward to selling it. What was there was important things. We were talking about human factors. I told you there was a story I wanted to tell you, and I forgot all about it. It's gone. I waited too long. So maybe if I drink my nootropics, it'll come back. Probably not. But so I was telling you guys also about my e-bike. So I bought my Trek e-bike and we went out I didn't even go a full 5 miles, but we rode a hill. But I was working so hard. Oh my gosh. And I told Attila went with me for safety just to make sure everything was okay. And I was like, man, I don't know. I love it and I'm very excited, but oh my gosh, it's way harder than just my regular bike. And he also encouraged me to say, like, well, maybe you should stop trying to be so tough and actually use the E part and try gearing down so that you are not working so hard. So he has a point. I basically forced my e-bike to be an extra heavy regular bike and then was complaining that it was hard to use. Not really complaining, but commenting like, man, that was brutal. Instead, I should have bumped up the assistance and made my gears a little bit easier to use, just like I do on my manual bike. And then it probably would have been easy peasy. So I'm really trying hard to get my mindset bent around that. Need lots of practice because the end goal would be to gear it up appropriately so that I can use it to more or less replace my vehicle, and then only I need to do something like rent a vehicle when I need to go to a convention or do a haul or things like that. Oh, Mama Bear's getting ready to watch the Oscars. We haven't watched them in years, but Jesse is with his dad for spring break. And it starts an hour early this year, so dreaming about what your life could have been. Ooh. Oh, yeah, the Oscars. I can't remember the last time I've watched the Oscars, and I don't know if I need to, but I really do like seeing all of the clothes. They really dress to the nines in stuff that I can't possibly ever dream to afford. Possibly, I mean, I couldn't even afford to make it. I don't think. Like some of the beading and stuff is so elaborate. But let's see. And then Mama Bear, let's see. Brenda says she's going to watch too. She also loves seeing the gowns. Yep. What else? Oh, so there is an Ohio meetup. I won't be there. So I won't see you, but I hope that you all have an amazing time. Enjoy your keto stuff. I got a meeting with a lawyer for our new convention. Oh, Mama Bear says some of the evening gowns are really quite stunning this year. Oh, well, they're always stunning, but yeah, I always love seeing that. And I love what I don't love is when people start tearing them apart or like putting people down for the clothes. I'm like, no matter what it is, it's always so interestingly gorgeous. And sorry if you don't like it because clearly the person wearing it loved it. And that's really what I think is the cake. Brenda was asking if whatever I forgot was about the evil ooze. Probably not. I do love evil ooze, but I don't have any right now because I ate it all. That's a common recurring theme here with me. I'm out of the Cooper's Inferno from Heath Shelley and the Caboodles. So I'm out of that. I'm out of my evil ooze. I definitely used all of that MCT a long time ago. The Moist Clown Tears, which, hey, I wonder where Renee is. Probably working. So that's right. That's another thing that I had to do this week. I have my crampy shoes, and they're just in such terrible shape that they're starting to like make my feet hurt, and also my calves. So I was like, okay, I really got to figure out my shoe situation. I've really been using Asics for a long time. And in 2019, Asics changed their manufacturing and they got real cheap. So I've been buying Asics like every 4 months because they just break down so fast. But they do fit my feet and they help with my pronation and all of that stuff. But I'm like, why am I wasting my money every 4 months? And so I went to my colleagues because for those of you who don't know, I'd been going to school for quite some time now. And part ways into my program, I did get my certification for fitness and nutrition. But I'm continuing on. Now, in transparency, my regular corporate work life has become the capitalist, terrible environment. And it's just so much now that I've talked to my program and my advisors and all of that. And I'm like, I have to take a little break. I'm not going to be able to do the semester and the summer because I was trying to do it more accelerated. So, but I just can't. It's too much. So I'll come back to it. Probably not. I'll probably skip the summer and the fall, and then go back for the winter spring semester, and see what I can manage there. But pretty much all of my peers, and the teachers, the specialized educators, and the medical professionals there, they are doctors, physical therapists, sports therapists. And I was like, listen, I gotta do something about my shoes. And they're like, yeah, you sure do. You need to stop wearing them crap ass Asics. And I was like, okay, thanks a lot. Oh, and Lynette says she's thankful I can take an objective view of your life and step back from certain activities when you need to. It's a skill that's helpful for mental health. It is, and it's not one that I've always had. It's taken me a long time to get to this point. It doesn't feel great because it feels like failure, but then there's the smart part of my brain is like, how can it be failure? You're 50 years old, you have a successful corporate career, you have a doctorate in literature, and you're going back to school for something completely different. The fact that I have to take a break to kind of keep my arms around it is not a failure. There's just that little part in your brain that's like, are you sure? Quitter. But no, it'll be good and I'll get back to it. And there's no real reason that I have to make it like a pressure thing because I'm not going to quit my job and go be a physical therapist. That would be insanity. I do have clients for some fitness coaching, but I don't do keto coaching, which inevitably some people do like to ask periodically, like, hey, you said you got your nutrition and fitness. Do you do keto coaching? And the answer is no. What I actually do is so very, very limited with the number of clients that I take on. And I'm very, very involved. I work with differently abled persons. And actually, 3 of my clients are Down syndrome patients. So we just work very gently, mostly remote. I work with their parents and talk with them about how to best enable their kids to work. I do occasionally meet with them in person, and we go to a gym and we go through and talk about the right kind of exercises that work with their bodies. And then we do the mom chat where I'm like, listen, you have to do your exercises. And so it's a lot, but it's super rewarding. It's an emotional rewarding thing, intrinsic reward, I call it. And Lynette says, no, it's not a failure. Putting an emphasis on your mental health is good. Well, thank you. I appreciate that feedback because it's nice to have that validation. And it makes a big difference. You know what, guys? This stuff smells nice. That's what it is. I mean, it tastes good too, but the nice smelling aroma is really good. Oh, and Mama Bear Lynette says she's looking at all the movie stars on the red carpet and wonder how many of them are on Ozempic. That's interesting. Hey, Justice and Keto. Nice to see you. For a moment, I forgot about my casserole, and suddenly I was like, oh my God, how much time has passed? Not that much, but I'm gonna take a peek anyways. Coming along nicely. It's very cheesy. So let's see. Hey, Just Jason, so what's your latest chaffle? I know you recently did a chocolate one. What else is on the agenda for those chaffles? You guys, if you love chaffles, which is cheese and egg-based stuff with other things added in, you should check out Just Jason Keto and More's channel. He's been doing these chaffle streams. Also, he has these great discussions on his channel that I really dig. It's actually what made me start watching Just Jason Keto, is his interviews. They're really good. So there's that. But also, again, I love me some chaffles and some waffles. So that's a bonus. What else am I? Oh, this is important. Now that I see Sharon, you should know that if you are going to that Ohio meetup, you need to get some really cool things that Sharon made, some special patches. And if you like embroidered goods, Sharon's link to Sharon's store is in my video descriptions. I don't have it handy, or I would fetch it, but because my creamy is actually in our next room over. She makes the koozies that go around the pint. She can actually make any size for any of the creamies, those koozies, so you can eat your ice cream right out of the pint without getting cold fingers. She has stuff to hold the blender bottle with a nice little neoprene handle. She made our aprons, which I didn't wear today, but it's delightful. You guys have seen it on some of my videos. See, that's a crazy person thing. I don't like to wear my aprons because they're nice and I don't want them to get dirty. Yeah. Even though that's what they're for. It's really nice. The stuff is like great. And last year, I ordered beanies from Sharon with my Radical Geek logo. And I gave one to every single one of my staff who worked for me at a convention. And they were all like, wow, this is really great. So, yeah, there's that. We, lots of working together, cooperation. And, oh, Sharon, I got to get with you for some patches that I need. So, and Sharon says the aprons wash up wonderfully. And I know they do because I've washed it, but it's the same for all my aprons. I have my Necronom Nom apron. I know it's hard to say. It's a Necronomicon themed for like Call of Cthulhu. And it's hilarious. It's got the patch, and then the apron has one of the hoods on it, and it's hilarious. It goes with the fact that a cookbook was made, the Necronom book. And that has a bunch of recipes in it that are all Cthulhu mythos themed. It's hilarious. I just love it. So I have that one. And then I also have my Dia de los Muertos apron. I love aprons. So, but I don't like to wear them because, again, they'll get dirty. Let's see. Brenda says she won an ice cream koozie from Sharon at the last meetup. She loves it. Yeah, so they're really cool stuff. But so what I need to do is I'm hoping to place an order here with Sharon for some name tags to go with our cosplay. Our guild is doing the original Alien. So I've got a Ripley jumpsuit and the other people all have the jackets and the cargo pants. We've got the Nostromo patches already because there's a plethora of those everywhere. But what we don't have is the name tags to match them. And that's what I want to order for Sharon so we can all get our custom name tags and add that into our uniforms. Also, a friend of mine has had this really lovely full-length denim coat that he had with patches for many decades worth of collections. And he was talking about it and talking about the fact that he was really sad about the loss of one of those patches, and that patch is no longer made or distributed. I did reach out to the author, and they said they're not going to make any more, and basically told me do what I want. And as long as I didn't sell or profit or, you know what I'm saying. As long as I don't make any money off of using their IP. And so I did think that I might try and send a picture of that to see if Sharon can replicate that patch and surprise him. I know he doesn't watch my keto YouTube, so I don't feel bad saying it, but I'm hoping that we can replicate it and get that for him. I think it would be a really nice thing to do. So those are my wishes that I'll get on eventually, which should have already happened, but probably won't happen until like next week. Let's see. Oh, and Lynette says her aprons definitely get very messy, dirty, and she just throws them in the laundry and they clean up beautifully. So let's see. And Lynette says that Sharon embroidered her aprons and she wears them every day. They are wonderful. They say Team Jessie. I saw a picture of those. They are lovely. And the Hungry Heath channel has aprons. They're blue, and you can buy Hungry Heath swag on Sharon's thing too. So it's super cool. I encourage for those of you who need like custom stuff, custom embroidered things or swag, that you reach out because her prices are amazing and the work is super high quality. Let's see, and Just Jason says he hopes everyone has a nice evening. Yeah, you too, Jason. Oh, it's so good. I'm really glad that I have decided to try their special event concentrate. No regrets. Sometimes there are regrets, and this wasn't one of them. All right, and then, so let me, I'm going to set this down so it's ready for me to put the casserole on. I don't like to put it directly on the counter. Oh. So how's everyone? If you are in a state that does the time change, which I am, how are you doing? Does it impact you? I know some people don't feel it at all because it's just like an hour difference. And then I know a lot of people where it discombobulates them a lot for an extended period. I'm just curious, which kind are you? And and then I saw someone ranting like, "Oh, you people complaining about the time change. How very dare you?" And it's like, well, you don't have to complain a lot, but it's understandable when people feel crappy and they're like, "Man, everything's just off and I'm tired." I think that's legitimate, and that's me. I'm definitely a bit off kilter and probably need to go to bed early this evening. Probably. Will I? Will I go to bed early every evening? But I can't see myself going earlier than usual, even though I probably should. Let's see. Lynette says she hates the time change because it confuses her son so much. He can't understand why he has to go to bed when it's light outside, and he loves his circadian rhythm. Yeah, that's a big thing. Heath says the only impact for him is that he had to reset the clock on the oven and the microwave. And the warden says she guesses it didn't faze her because he went to bed at 9 p.m. and Heath woke her up at 10. So that's good. Technically, yep. And let's see. And Brenda says she had a big coffee and an energy drink today. Marianne says she went to bed early last night, so it hasn't bothered her yet. Yeah. I think that I just need to get like a little bit of extra sleep tonight and I'll be fine. But like today was a little bit rougher. But today was also like a cascade of rough events. It was like the snow, the weather. Earlier in the week, I had that massive cold that's been going around. So I had like a rough week where I didn't get enough rest. I couldn't breathe and I had like a big, massive headache. Felt like someone punched me in the face. So, there's a lot of recovery to that. And then, then a time change on top of that when your body's already going through stuff. It wasn't terrific. Then, on top of everything else, the pipe came off underneath our sink. Water spilled through the kitchen. So, because I had just started the dishwasher, of course, so it dumped a bunch of water in here. So we had to do a mad dash of massive sweeping of towels to get up all the water, reset the sink. It was an adventure. Then we went to the craft store, and like I said, I'm done now. It's been a day. I gotta look at this again. Oh, it's looking so cheesy. I'm excited. And Barely Begun says he just finds the time change annoying. He does wishes that the powers that be would just pick one and stop switching. Let's see. And 22Q Cat says it's only an hour, so for her it's not a big deal. She loves more sunlight always. For me, I really don't care about the lighting because for me the lighting was more about like the days when more people did outdoor things like farming, and they needed that time change to account for the outdoors work, and the electricity was not yet as prevalent in our society. But now we can make light all the time and anywhere in many fashions, and we can even replicate the kind of rays that you would get from sunshine. So to me, it's less important to have that the actual daylight savings than it may used to be. So in that way, it's become outdated and old-fashioned. So as not as necessary as it once was. Uh, Honestly, I do kind of wish we would just go back on standard time and just stay there and deal with the fact that the outdoor sunshine changes its cadence. Mostly just because it's a pain in the ass. You gotta change stuff. So, oh, I gotta go change the clock in my truck, you guys. I forgot. Hungry He says tonight's dishes inspired him to do his own version, but to cook it in the Traeger. Yeah, it's really good smoked, but I'm not doing that in the snow today. Some days I'd go out in the snow, but not today. Also, I can't live stream in the snow. I mean, I could, but my electronics don't love it, so we're not doing that. Marion says she's been such a mess this week recovering from COVID. She went to work this afternoon to make a start on all the paperwork that didn't get done while she was at home sick all week. Ugh, yeah, that's the worst. Because I'm remote, I toughed it out. And I'll say there was one day there where I was sick enough that I was like, I don't know if I'm toughing this out. Let me think on it. And I just changed my work schedule a little bit. And I was like, guys, I'm going to hang out till like 5:30 instead of leaving at 4:30. And don't bother me for an hour. I got to take a nap. And that's what I did. I just leaned my chair back and slept. Oh, it was hardcore sleeping. So, but I'm glad that means that if you went to work, that you're now COVID negative. So, but now you got all the fatigue to deal with and all that piled up work. What a pain in the backside. Let's see. And the warden says, yeah, she wants her hour back in the fall. Then let's stop changing. Yep. And Sharon says, farmers work 24/7. Their tractors have moved massive lights and go nonstop. That's right. Like I said, it's not like the olden days. This is no longer a little house on the prairie where you had to do things in the daylight, and struggle at night. So we're good. We don't need it anymore. Hungry He says, power naps always feel great. Yeah, a 10 to 15-minute recharge is wonderful. So let's see, what else was I thinking about? We complained about the daylight. Oh yeah, so over on the Keto Simple channel, he did a thing about Element and their maltodextrin, and it got me thinking about the ingredients. And I do complain about ingredients in keto products and stuff, but I also think that I say, like, you know what, this is really not like a great keto choice. I won't eat it, but other people will, and I don't have a problem with that. People need to make their own choices, and I really hate when we're food shaming people. I really don't like that. And the Element thing weirds me out because people are in such a dither. They're like, oh, how dare they make this toxic product, or it's poison, they're poisoning us. And I'm like, okay, way to overreact. I get it. Maltodextrin is not a good choice ingredient, but in this case, it's in their natural flavoring. It's an ingredient within an ingredient within an ingredient. And the amount that they have in there is so minuscule that I find it hard to believe that it's impacting that many people. And also, I don't mean to be rude, and I know that it does impact a very small percentage, but let me tell you, a small percentage. Small. I don't deny that it will impact at least someone, but that percentage is very small. And nobody was saying, when I drink Element, I have issues, until one person made a video that said, hey, I found out that Element has maltodextrin in their ingredients. Then suddenly, everybody's like, yeah, every time I've tried Element, it's made me super sick and I've got blood sugar spikes. I'm like, I don't believe you. I know that that's terrible to say that I don't believe them, but I do think that some of it might be psychological. Now, psychological symptoms are real symptoms, and we have to think about that. It's true, but I would say if we start our mindset and we remember and put things into scale, there's a world of difference between a less than a pinhead size drop of maltodextrin versus versus a product that has 10 or 11 questionable ingredients, and they're all at the very top of the ingredient list in large quantities, if that makes sense. So you have to put things into perspective. And also, I don't like the word poison. It's not poison. It's less quality. There's a big difference between poison and less desirable, not optimal. Poison and toxic are very specific words, and I think that when we blow things out of proportion and say things are poison or toxic when they're not, and instead it's just optimal or unhealthy, I feel like we're doing a disservice to people and actually harming their education. So yeah, Marion says she can't use salty, so she's sticking with Element. Oh, what's in the salty that is impacting you? I'm really curious about that. 22Q Cat says she'll test her blood sugar after she eats something questionable, and then she knows what does and doesn't work for her. That's right. That's a good attitude. And the warden says that she says it's a bit of fear mongering. Yeah, and I mean, like, Element's a good company. I'm sorry, and so is Redmond and their Relight. Those products are solid products. Now, for me, Relight gets crunchy too fast, like the humidity impacts them. So it's a winter drink and doesn't do so well for me in the summer because it gets so humid here that then it becomes a solid brick and I can't use it. So that's a different issue, but I have zero problems with that. And that's not to say that I won't complain about maltodextrin in a product. I will, if it's like in a protein bar and it's like almond flour and then soluble corn fiber and maltodextrin, and that's the top 3 ingredients, I'm telling you, then it's too much. But it's still not poison. It's just not a good ketogenic choice. Does that make sense? Am I being ridiculous? I don't know. But let's check my casserole. All right, you guys. I'm pulling it out. Get my gloves. Ho, 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 look at that. We'll need to let this sit before I dive into it. It does have kind of a lot of grease, and honestly, sometimes I would probably take some paper towels and pull some of that off. But I don't think I'm going to tonight because I'm just not going to. It's obviously too hot and has to sit here for a bit. Oop, almost touched it. I was scared I was going to burn myself. But look at it. Delightful. I'm excited. Keto Simple says he's late. He's out shopping for the family dinner tonight, but we're having chopped sandwiches. I love that. You know what? That whole chopped sandwich thing, that's a winner. I love that. The chopped sandwich is delicious. It was a solid choice, but actually I like a chopped salad, so there's no surprise there. Lots of people say it's looking good. The casserole looks amazing. Super yummy. Yeah, I'm looking forward to diving in. I didn't think it all the way through. Let me get a spoon and a knife so we can cut into it. I'm going to let it rest so that everything can settle before, but I don't think you can hear me scraping the pepperonis. But just in case you can, they're nice. And so's the cheese. It's got these nice little browned bubbles. Perfection. I'm excited for it. Let's see. Yep, Lynette says the casserole looks amazing. Very yummy. And Hungry, he says it's the pizza version of Connect 4. That's pretty funny. I hadn't really thought about that. Keto Simple says he's standing in line at the deli counter at Kroger. Oh. Are you getting anything good on sale? The Boar's Head stuff. What's on sale at Boar's Head? For Boar's Head, that's what I'm looking at. The warden says, forget about meals. When we visit, we're eating at Maitreya, and at Attila we'll have to get used to us invading. Yeah, I'm glad to cook. You tell me anything that you guys want, and I will cook it up. And just confirm with me which weekend you guys are coming, and I will book the venue. I can cook some stuff. We can bring our equipment, and then all of us can cook together. I think that'll be amazing. And then what I'm hoping, if you guys agree, and we can set up a chat amongst us and plan it all out. But in my mind, I envision us renting one of those park lodges and that have the kitchen, so that we can all cook together and host, and then our guests can all come and bring a potluck dish. So, and if everybody contributes, you guys, we will have the most amazing feast. And if you're so inclined, we can bring what I call the lunchbox of donation holding. And if you feel, or if you can, toss $1 or $2 in there, and we'll split that up amongst us to go towards the rental of the shelter, and then a little bit towards Heath and Shelley for their travels. But obviously donation optional, because it is our pleasure to host and have everybody there. So, and the warden says, let's chat, because any of the weekends are good for her. So just up to us and when the venue is open. All right, I tell you what, don't let me forget. And then tomorrow I will log in and tell you which of the places are open, and we can choose which of the weekends in March we want to do. We have some other surprises for you guys too. We're stupid excited that you're coming. I know I said it needs to cool and sit, but am I waiting? Am I? Or am I digging into the crunchy corner? Because that's obviously, in any casserole, the corner is the best piece. I say piece, but really, like I said, this is not gonna be something you cut into and then it pulls out in a section. It's soft because, well, I'm going to scoop my underneath. Put that back in there. And it doesn't look sexy. I'll just say this right here. This is not the sexy dish that you're going to put on to your Instagram. But you can see how my crispy corner is. There we go. Pull my face out. So yeah, that's our pizza bowl. It's not a sexy dish, but it is a tasty dish. Here's my spoon. It's still too hot for me to eat it. The warden says it looks sexy to her. Let's see. Keto Simple says he has to make a video for his go-to pizza dishes. There's a couple different ones. Yeah, always. And Julie in the Pines, hello, welcome. Says, oh boy, it looks like she got here late, but looks yummy. Warm and sunny in Prescott, Arizona. Oh, well. Arizona's monsoon season, is it still running in late summer, or has it moved? Like our tornado season here in Ohio is shifting, and it's come earlier and earlier over the past 6 or 7 years. It's so hot, the steam is rolling off it. Carrie says he got a slice of the pizza bowl through the computer screen. Hungry He says he has 2 bags of Porking Good pizza flavored rinds that would be great to dip in that. Oh, it sure would. And 22Q Cat says lots of leftovers. That's the best. Yeah, we'll be eating on this most of the week. Oh, and Julie says monsoon hits around the 4th of July. So it's shifted a little. When I grew up in the lower southwest corner of New Mexico. And for us, the monsoons would start in August. So it has shifted back a month over the years, the decades. Sure, that's a long time ago. Maybe I shouldn't talk about that. It's delightful. It hits all the notes. 100%. Everything that I look for in pizza. So yeah, not a single regret. Okay. I lost my momentum. So I'm going to default to other things that we were talking about. Hey, Darth Carnivore. Oh, pizza casserole looks delicious. Yeah, I have a question since I know that I have some carnivores on here, but really mostly keto people. But Darth Carnivore, do you eat cheese or no cheese? The big carnivore controversy. That's what I call it, because I see like all of the big fights in any of the carnivore groups. Oh, cheese or no cheese? Cheese is the devil. Cheese is delicious. And I tell people that what you have to do is find out what works for you. But people don't like that opinion. And Darth Carnivore says he currently doesn't do cheese. Yeah, so that would make this dish harder for you. But if you wanted a pizza casserole, I would say you could use your ground. I would just add more meats. I would do a layer of. I would actually make my sausage, and instead of crumbled, I would roll it out and smoke it in like a nice sheet, and put that into the bottom. And then I would put my ground beef crumbles. And then I would probably do a little bit of a smoked pork. And then I would layer, if you eat pepperonis. Pepperonis might be kind of dirty if you're a real strict carnivore. But so that's what I would do instead of all my cheese and sauce. So it's still an option. I guess then it would be slightly different. It would be more like I don't know what you would call it, but it would still be delicious. Oh, right. That reminds me. Indiana. So we've been, I mentioned this. And Dustin, I will be in Indiana. Oh, let me look at the calendar real quick. I'm coming in on Thursday the 28th to unload. I will be checking into my hotel. Hopefully they will have early check-in, but they may or may not. And around... So worst case, I'll be checking in at 3. I do have a lot to unload, but it's all packed up in totes and my suitcases and then my cooking equipment. So it'll be quick and easy peasy. I'll be coming in on the 28th. And then after that, I have time. So it's a Thursday evening. Let me know what your Thursday evenings look like. Because if they look good to you, I would love to take that Thursday evening and go to Luminaldi's. That's where I want to go. I know that we usually go to the other pizza place, but I'm craving that sausage crust and that deep dish. Carrie says he would eat cheese. He can't afford it, so he chooses not to eat cheese. He could do cheese, but he would just use lots of meat. Yeah. And that's an easy thing to do. You might want to add some moisture to the meats if you're layering them and baking them into a casserole. So you might want to, what I would do is I would, after I smoke my sausage, before I put the crumbles of ground beef down, I would then put some dots of butter. I know that sounds crazy, but trust me, you would want that. And Dennis says, yeah, that he agrees that he gets Carrie's point. So, yeah. Anyways, that's when I will be in Indianapolis, the 28th of this month. And if you guys are free, I would love to meet up at Luminaldi's to get a deep dish pizzas. So put it in your calendar and let me know. Yeah, so that's the alternative to the other pizza joint because yeah. And what I'm doing in Indianapolis is HoosierCon. It's a board game event. It's all board games, and they are in the Indianapolis Marriott East, and I cannot wait. But I'm going there to work. I will have lots of fun too, though. But what I'm doing is this time is I'm running a qualifying tournament for the Catan. And so it has 3 preliminaries, then the semifinals and the finals, and the winner of the finals qualifies to go to the National Catan Tournament at Gen Con. If you win that tournament, then you get to, if you win at Gen Con, then you get to go to the International Tournament. And I'm just saying that's some big prize there. There is a prize for winning the qualifier, and it's a copy of Game of Thrones Catan. I'll tell you, that is one of the better Catans. It's really good. Dennis says the pizza casserole looks good. So, yep. Carrie says he made his hamburger patties like you would make a pizza and just cut the patties into squares. Yeah, that makes sense. Darth Carnivore says he'd love to play Catan against a pro. I'm not a pro, but I actually, and I do love Catan, and I am super excited to run the tournament. I love it because it really fosters community, and the team members at Catan Studios are sheer delights. And I love me some good people. So I will do everything that they would like me to do. So it's great. But I'm a crunchy board game player. So Catan is for friends and family. And if it's up to me, we're going to play some really meaty strategy games. Also, I really like worker placement games. Those are my favorites. So if you're into board games, I will tell you Brass Birmingham is a favorite. We also like all of the Manhattan Project and Energy Empire series. If we can ever get the players together who are willing to commit to the time, we really like Twilight Imperium. Twilight Imperium is the best of the best, but you have to remember it's an 8-hour board game, and in between those 8 hours, you need to make a break for meals. So a lot of it's not always easy to get people together for that. So, but outside of the tournament, so I'll have a preliminary in the morning, preliminary in the afternoon, preliminary in the morning, semifinal, and then Sunday is the final. So, and also, so then after Sunday, I actually decided I would stay until Monday so that I could just get up early in the morning and get on the road. So if Thursday doesn't work out for Indie Meetup, then I'm also available Sunday afternoon to catch some dinner. Now, I do have a bunch of friends there, so we might have other non-keto people there. So make sure that you're sturdy enough to handle the fact that they're going to order cheeseburgers with the bun and French fries with all the toppings and every indulgent, standard American diet thing that we have all eschewed. So there is that part. And I don't know if they will be there Sunday, but or not, depending on when they are leaving for home. Things I look forward to. I also really enjoy some lightweight games. AEG has some really good stuff. That's Alderac Entertainment Games. and they're a lot of fun. They have one that's totally adorable. It's called Waffle Time that I dig. It's real easy, and you're trying to achieve these goals, but your board game, your individual game, is a waffle. And according to the cards and stuff and all the rules, you have to build your waffle to get enough points. So you have to add fruits, you have to add whipped creams, you have to add butters, you have to add syrup. Syrup is like the big deal. It's super cute. It's totally adorable, and I love it. But oh, and the other game company, which I've actually featured their games on here a couple times that we love, is Genius Games, and they're science-based. So they've got worker placement games based on science, cellulose, genotype. They've got a whole bunch of them, and periodic, which is about the table of elements. Did I get too nerdy, you guys? The chat stopped. What else do we want to talk about? I feel like I went off on a tangent there. I just got lost in my board games. It's a geek thing. It's what happens. Oh, Dennis is asking if I've ever done a sausage fatty. To look up Serious Keto, Steve has it. I personally haven't made one, but I have had them made by other people. They're really tasty. They're a little bit, it's too much for me. It's if I have someone to share, I'm all in. But I haven't made one on my YouTube, so maybe I'll put it in my summer rotation. I have some twists on it that are really nice. So, and Darth Carnivore says he loves the board game talk. Coda Bear says no such thing as too nerdy. He just wishes he lived close enough to play. And Sharon says she likes the gaming, so or the geeking rather. Oh, good. So. But yeah, I mean, it's easy for me to get lost down that rabbit hole because I do have a board game library with over 700 games. And so pretty much sky's the limit. Oh, household favorite, Terraforming Mars. That is a fun game. And I think even non-board gamers, once you get them into the rules, it looks like a lot up front. And it's kind of a lot if you get caught up in thinking about it too hard. But otherwise, it's once you get into it, it actually moves pretty quick and it's fairly simple, but it's pretty deep. And Sharon says Steph has asked if I had played Titan. So depends on which one he's talking about. I have a few different board games called Titan, and they're from different genres. So maybe. Oh, and Dennis says he bakes his in a very small oven. Yeah, you could do it actually in my Instant Omni Plus because it has bake, air fry, convection, you name it. It says it does it. I haven't tried to dehydrate in there, but I think I could. 22Q Cat says, how could I be too geeky? Look at the name of my channel. That's true. Okay, and Sharon says the old Avalon Hill version. 100%. Man, that's almost a classic now. I'm impressed. Props. So that's a good game. I don't actually have a copy of it. The shame. But yeah. Let's see. And Carrie says the pizza casserole looks so Gouda. Oh man, Gouda would have been good in this. Although I don't think I have any right now. So, all right then. But yeah, delightful. Okay. Sharon started a sentence but didn't finish it. So, oh, Sharon says they still have one. Oh, nice. What about LARPs? Do any of you do that? Live action role play? I believe Sharon that you told me you guys have done some SCA in the that it was you who said that. I used to do that too, but it's been a really long time since we've been out into anything. Dennis says he lines his foil with parchment paper, aspiring to baking 3 at a time. Oh, nice. Yeah, I also almost always line with parchment paper, even if I've got foil down. I feel that it gives a better It prevents like some extra over crisping of the bottom, and even with tin foil, it can stick. So I'm with you on the parchment. Now, Darth Carnivore is asking, is SCA is the knights fighting, right? So it's complicated. It's Renaissance area, and yes, they do have the battles, but there's a huge swath of things outside of that. I actually got into the SCA because my dad was in the SCA, and he's a blacksmith. And then we had a bunch of friends. All our friends were in the SCA. And so he was a blacksmith, and our friend had she called it Ye Old Junk Shop, but she had like leather hides and Renaissance era tools, knickknacks, and fun stuff like that. We had some friends who ran a hard cider truck, and then friends who had actual just regular cider. There were coffee roasters and actually that was Odyssey Coffee. Okay, and yeah, and Sharon says she'd love to be active again in the SCA. It's a great creative outlet. Yeah, I wouldn't mind either. Oh, and of course, one of my favorite things in the SCA is there's an entire cooking guild. So, and they make Renaissance era foods. It's kind of hard to adapt it to keto. It's not necessarily authentic. So the authenticity police will get you, but I've outgrown the authenticity police. Like, sorry, it is what it is. All right, good night, everyone. Good night, Shauna. I hope that you have a better evening. I know it's been a rough time lately, and I am thinking of you, and I will chat you up later. And actually, it's about time for me to go. I'm going to eat this pizza casserole and let other people have some as well. So I appreciate you guys. Let me know what other things you are excited about. Let me know if you have any other recipes you want to see coming up so I can plan them out. I already have something in mind for next week, but that doesn't mean it can't change. And I will talk to you all real soon. Bye-bye.